talking to XSET's head coach Budega here. It's a nice and lovely morning where you are in Vegas, a little bit warm, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Nice to see you again, Yuk. Um, um, it's gonna be a good talk.
yeah, hopefully. So, I like to approach these interviews by just getting the elephant in the room out of the way first. So, we're gonna address it straight on. So, in the middle of the Charlotte Major, on the very first playoff day, you got suspended for 12 months by Ubisoft, which means you can't be behind the team, and you can still obviously continue to coach them from the sidelines and stuff like that. Now, whether that's right or wrong, that's not really what I want to get into here, but I just want to talk about the impact it has had on your team. So in Charlotte, when I talked to Kino before your games, your exit quarterfinal game, he was confident initially that you guys would do well, but then after the loss, he said it was a huge hit and they didn't know when to call timeouts and how what the situation should be. But I understand if, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vivas has gotten his visa, right? Now he's standing behind the team in the NAL, and just wanting
Yep.
to know, basically, how has everything changed in the wake of that, and what the impact been on your team?
Well, when it happened, so when it happened, Ubisoft gave us like no feedback that this was going to happen. Like day before the man, we didn't knew that wasn't gonna play, so we only knew at the morning. So at the morning that we were going to play. So um everything was done after that because me and Marco and Vivas we had like most of the day to handle the situation and the boys couldn't focus on their game. We couldn't focus on our strats. Our prep for the game was just talk about the map bans and that's it. Like we couldn't talk about it because first off I had no mental. And second off, I was like trying to resolve an issue that should have been resolved like 2 days ago at least. I should have known about this protest since the beginning. Like to try to resolve the problem because at the, you can't do that on the same day as you're gonna play. So we were kind of um, crippled uh, for
Yeah.
that game. But after for any league, we had I think the first 5 games without Vivas, because he had no visa.
Mhm.
Um, there were a couple games. I think the Parabellum game, where I felt that it was a close game and it was in Oregon. And it's a really good map for both me and Vivas as a coach. We know pretty much everything about that map, and I think we will have like a good time out against them. We'll have had a better result. But that was the only game that I felt like that the boys couldn't handle the job. And then after Vivas came, and I think it was on Sonic's game, the first game,
Yeah.
and it was all fine. We could recover.
Right. That's pretty cool. So, speaking of Vivas obviously coming in on the stage halfway through the stage, uh, that was I think really important because you obviously have 9 play days, so him coming in play day 6 still gives him like a decent run of games. And NAL is on LAN just like BR6, so obviously LAN itself is a big advantage. How much of an advantage do you think it was for Vivas to get that practice and for the roster to get practice with Vivas behind them for those last 4 5 games in the NAL?
Well, it's been very, very crucial, I mean, for Vivas because it's been his first experience as a coach. He's been my assistant for the past 4 years, I think, and the only time that he wasn't my assistant was when I went to MIBR.
Yeah.
And he couldn't coach in Black Dragons, I think, because the coach was another guy. So that's the first time he's coaching, and he's trying to know his style, his personality, and he's not like the same as me. Like he doesn't scream that much, but thinks more of strats and and things of that area, So he's a more calm coach, but on his timeouts, he says basically that he thinks the same as me. So we come up with the same solutions, same everything. Like our way of thought is very similar, very, very, very similar.
That's
So,
that's really cool. But I remember I don't know who it was on your team, whether it was you or like Kino. Someone talked about how basically you being behind the players was like this huge source of energy. As you said, you are a more like an explosive kind of like, yeah, let's go coach, and Vivas is more of a strategic, like the guy who stands behind with like the book, and just walks around with the strats and ideas. So how has the team adjusted to that?
well, to be honest, my timeouts most of the time, um, I talk about strats just like Vivas.
Mhm.
Because this team, I don't know why, but I had to make like less mental breaks to make them recover. I don't know why, but like in MIBI back in the MIBI era, I had to do that much more than in here. I think they're like the mental, like they're strong around the game. They rarely you see them like giving up or like giving comms like passively.
Mhm.
When the team is losing, the team is giving like almost no comms. So
Yeah,
this never happened on that team. So I think it happened like two times on the first few games. I think against SSG when we choke a few rounds and
right.
their comms was kind of ass. But like after that, like this never happened. So I most of the time I never did like a mental timeout. So
Right. So the energy has always been there, even though you were not there.
yeah, yeah, that's
Nice.
kind of good for this team.
Cool. So, of course, you shared a little bit, but can you also go into more detail exactly what your role has been since the Charlotte Major ended?
Well, after the Charlotte Major, I had some time to rethink everything that happened. um, Everything went through my mind, like retirement, even retirement. Like I wanted to leave Siege after that, but with all the boys telling me that I should come back and Marco, I came back and basically everything that you see from XSET, every single play, every single step, every single round is been through my game. So I had a participation in every single aspect of XSET. So um, if you're gonna see my game, it's gonna be XSET. So that's basically it.
Nice.
I
So
gave all my heart
basically,
and soul
strategy.
to flats. Yeah, it's all strategy.
Very cool. That's, I mean, yes, yeah, still, I guess, one of the biggest impacts a coach can really have. So, to this stage two performance from XZ. This was a very touch and go season for pretty much every single team in the NAL except for Oxygen and I guess Mirage. Um, and even then, even though Oxygen qualified first, at the end of the day, at the end of the stage, the gap from first down to ninth was basically what, 3 points, 2 points, something like that.
Yeah.
What did you guys learn and implement from the Charlotte Major that you brought back to the NAL? What went right in this implementation and kind of what went wrong in stage two?
Well, for in the league, we always, I think for the past two stages, we chose to have like a limited map pool for NAL, because we felt like if we scrim too many maps, um, we're gonna get inconsistent, too much inconsistent, and that works. Like we won our 5 games. Um, there's not much else I can say. Like, you can either have like a large map pool and keep playing all the maps, or like you can have like a definite map pool of like 6, 7 maps and play all only these. Um, It was real close this league season. I think most of the regions were real close. So yeah.
Right. So basically, what exactly did you learn from Charlotte? Like, kind of issues that you identified and you fixed for stage two, but and what did you not end up
Oh,
fixing, essentially?
um. Well, first off, we had to deepen our strat book because after stage one, our strats were not new anymore. Most of some teams copied. It turned out to be meta, and when it turns out to be meta,
Everyone's doing it.
yeah, everyone's doing it and everyone's preparing for it. And so you gotta deepen your strat book. Um, and we had little time for it. Our off season was actually kind of bad because of everything that happened, and I think we started off cold, and then we could have recovered like on the last few play days, in my opinion. We changed a few stuff, and we could have changed for our last game on Villa against OXG with that had a lot of counter strat involved.
Yeah.
Um, and then we could cut it out. Yeah, that was basically it.
Nice.
It was like a
So, like,
race to a race towards the major.
yeah. Was there any point where you thought like, you guys got nervous, like, damn, like, there's a chance that we are not making it, like when you had on the final out of the at the end, you had D and Astralis, and you lost both those matches.
Well, I've been playing for the past 4 years. Me and Vivas, and what I told basically to the boys before the game was that we had to play like a bunch of MFs, because we know that they
Taking a
had
playbook from Jose Mourinho,
because
eh?
they got nothing to lose. They literally had nothing to lose at that game, and
Yeah,
we had everything to lose. I didn't want to like hide anything from the players. This was a very pressure game, and they should feel the pressure. And guys gotta play like a bunch of MS because that's how you're gonna win. That's how you win at this game.
yeah.
That's how you play it, and that's how they played it. Kino
Of course,
actually
I
took
mean
a
the
little bit too
results.
seriously. Kino
Yeah.
actually took a little bit too serious on defense. He threw a lot of some rounds. Give me
I'm actually curious. Speaking of that, Keto and Yoga, do you think there was like any like extra fire or like pressure on them because they were playing OXG of all teams, their former team?
well, that's what's special about this team
Yeah.
because they reimburse the pressure really much. Like I don't even need to talk about it. Like they got clocked in every time it's game day. It's amazing. Like these boys, they are clocked in every time for game day, every time, every single time. I never saw like besides the first few games, like they are always clocked in every time.
Nice.
It's very good.
So it
Kino,
wasn't any extra pressure or like fear against their former team then for them.
yeah, I was trying to make like um uh, an ambient
Atmosphere,
no
yeah.
atmosphere, yeah, like an atmosphere like of fuck it, like we don't care about it about this shit. So yeah,
Nice.
you know.
This is it, do or die. Very, very cool. And obviously your team did. They didn't die. Instead, you sent DZ, the Charlotte Major Champions, out of the running, which was very, very cool, I think.
Yeah, it was the first time that Eclipse missed an
Yeah,
event, right?
first time in his life, exactly. You guys
Right.
essentially sealed the deal on their final play day because you had the same points, just your round differential was better. So, playoffs was an impressive feat for this team to achieve, and Charlotte is like your first event where after you guys were assembled and you made straight quarterfinals. But of course, as you know, as we all know, really, it was against a weakened Brazil team, set of Brazilian teams, and there was no elevate there either. So, like, essentially, we can argue that 4 out of 16 teams weren't really at full strength. This time, it looks like everyone's going to be there. So what's the goal for XSET this time around in Berlin?
Well, this time we're not gonna face two Brazilians because which is good. Imagine playing on a group where it has three Brazilians, bro. Like
Oh yeah.
it's so boring. Like I leave Brazil,
And
go to the
immediately,
elite, and
yeah,
play some other people, and then I play Brazilians all of a sudden all over again. But okay, it's fine. Now I got Rogue, then one, and then IP, so that's good. Um, I think it's gonna be a tough major. We're gonna have tough matches. It's gonna be a really good test for us, and we are really excited by it. We made a lot of new strats for the event. We changed lots of things, basically because we had like a bad off season, so we had to change too many things on our map pool. So I think we got some spicy things to show.
nice. And yeah, I guess the pressure management from NAL, especially from the final play day, will definitely help in Berlin. And as you said, these are three very strong teams that are in your group. Now, the final question before I close off. Redeemer, OXG's coach, he was unhappy with like the long break that NAL had. But I guess in your case, because you guys had a bad off season, you guys were very happy with that 1 month break because it allowed you to develop these strategies.
Yeah, that was a very needed break for us. First off, we took a little break, and then we clocked in from the past 3.5 weeks. Um, we changed a lot in our strat book. We deepened everything that I thought that we needed to change, and I thought was meta. I think we're ready now. We're
Nice.
all set up. We have like 2 days of scrims now, and then we travel. I think we're ready.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck to XSET at the Berlin Major, and definitely excited to see what you guys do in this potential group of death that is looking like. Thank you very much, Budega, for your time, and have a good one.